Hi, Colleen.
Jesse, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. What are we doing?
What are we doing here today?
You guys are crashing out naming these kids. We need some serious help, so we're taking it to a podcast.
This is going to be your Name 911, name coaching, name therapy podcast.
It's going to be your name therapy, your mom therapy. We're going to help you name these kids. I unfortunately can't help with anything else because I am a parenting dumpster fire in real time, but I'm really good at naming your kids. So
that's what we're here to do.
So let's get into it.
So quick introductions. Can you tell me the quick and dirty about yourself?
So I am a TikToker. I am the TikTok baby name guru. 24. I have 2 under 2. Don't know why I've made the life choices that I've made, but here we are with 2 babies. I love naming your babies. I love helping people. That's how I got into this. I just started posting on TikTok and was like, who needs help? And I've just been doing it ever since. We're just a couple of New England girlies.
We are. That's how we found each other, is we're both in New England. And so this happy little marriage came to be. I am a TikTok girly, but I sort of left for Instagram. So I do a little bit of both. I found my people on Instagram.
It's a touchy subject.
We're trying to still make it work in spite of this breakup.
You're an author?
I'm a new author. I just wrote a baby name book. So yeah, we're really excited to get into talking about sort of demystifying baby names, demystifying motherhood in a way. We're talking about that a little bit with a focus on baby names. I think social media has just blown up and way overcomplicated baby naming. So we want to talk about the things that you don't need to worry about.
We get why you guys are overwhelmed. It's overwhelming. It has become a totally different landscape at this point. But we're going to give you all the baby name inspo, answer your questions, just really get into the problems that you're all facing when you're naming these babies.
We're also we get along so well, and we do share a lot of taste, but we're very different, and we're very different namers.
Yes.
Jessie knew the gender of her kids before she had them. She had the name picked out, plastered on an Etsy, Gorgine board.
I took 3 blood tests every time I was pregnant within the first 10 weeks of pregnancy. 3.
Why?
Because I'm so terrified it's going to be wrong, and then I'm going to pick a name and be emotionally attached to it, and it's going to be spread all across the nursery walls, and then I'm going to find out that it was wrong. People would comment on my TikToks when I was 38 weeks pregnant. LOL, what if it's actually why would you say that to me? It freaks me out so much. So yeah, I'm very serious about everything being in order. I'm very decisive.
You know your vibe, you pick the name,
yeah.
You stick with it, and I love your kids' names. I was kind of a wreck because I decided it would be so fun to not just find out the gender of my last kid.
I was sick over the gender of your baby.
You were sick about it.
You not knowing it was stressing me out. I was laying awake at night.
It wasn't a good call for me. I think if you're going teen green, you really need to know yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I suppose it was fun. It led to a few tears in the delivery room when I thought it was a girl. It ended up being a boy, and I didn't have a boy name prepared. So I empathize with how hard it is. Even if you have some great names that you're feeling good about, I empathize with how hard it is to make that final decision. Yeah. But I've gained some insight from doing it 3 times now. So I think we can help. And we're also excited to troubleshoot some of your Name 911s at the end of each episode. We're going to weigh in.
A lot of good ones. We have
some really good ones and some funny ones.
Yeah.
People have some funny, complicated, we have a dog named Charlie, can we name our kid Charlie type dilemmas.
My favorite is my childhood dead dog is named this, and my partner's saying no because that was honestly my situation. Is my mom's dog's name is Olive, and I wanted Pierce's middle name to be Oliver, and he goes, just because you're obsessed with that dog. I was like, and so what?
People are giving dogs way too beautiful of names.
Yeah.
I just met a dog named Miles. I'm like, that's too good for a dog. It's too good. You got to save that. So let's get into it. This episode, we're going to talk about sibling cohesion. I feel like that is the
hottest of topics.
Success. It's the buzzword on social media. I think it's sort of made baby naming hard. I honestly didn't think of that when I was naming my first kid. And then it was a different time. It was a different time 5 years ago.
Yeah. I will say I get a lot of the people are angry. I get a lot of angry comments about they're their own people. Why are you talking about them it's this aesthetic thing?
Yeah.
And I just feel this is such a hot take. Names are aesthetic. They're
They
a
are.
reflection of what's going on in society. They're a reflection of our tastes, our interests, like things that we find beautiful.
Yeah.
And like, it's okay to want your names to like sound pretty together. It doesn't mean that your kid is an accessory, like I'm seeing.
I
It's
agree.
like everyone's calling it like the Instagramification of names. And it's like people have been wanting their kids' names to go
Right.
together forever.
Also, people have been naturally doing it
Yes.
before it even had a label. Like, even think back, like Karen, Kathy, Carol, like sibling sets like that.
Yeah.
It was like clearly parents in the 50s gravitated towards a specific style and put them together in a specific way.
Exactly. Everyone thinks it has to be like star and sky. And like that is
No.
not what cohesion means. It's also hard because I feel like way back when you have all like the Irish Catholics popping out the kids and all the kids' names sounded good together because they were all Irish Catholic
Right.
names. So the
Patrick,
cohesion
Mary.
was exactly
Yeah.
the cohesion was natural.
Yeah.
Now we're pulling names out of left field.
Literally, this is why we have kids named Danger now. And
Yeah.
like we do have our line.
Yes.
We appreciate a variety of names, but we do have our line.
Yeah. It's just like you don't want to have Hero, Echo, and James.
No.
Like that's just the whole.
It's not gonna work.
It's too much.
And then you don't want to have like 12 J names.
No.
You
It's
don't.
giving Duggar.
It's giving Duggar.
Serving 19 kids and counting.
Feeding a little one with allergies has historically forced parents into difficult compromises, often feeling like a no-win situation between bad and worse. Many allergy-friendly formulas are packed with undesirable sugars, entirely different from human milk carbohydrates, and other ingredients that taste unpleasant and smell even worse. This leaves parents feeling as though they're offering something more clinical than nourishing. Harmony offers nutrition as nature intended. Inspired by human milk, its formulas maximize the use of human milk identical ingredients that are clean and gentle. Designed to be naturally accepted by babies, the composition nourishes, supports gut health, and empowers families to feed with confidence and peace of mind. You can get involved and help make a difference by joining their crowdfunding as an early bird investor using the link in our description.
So how do you make a cohesive sip set? Like, it doesn't matter, number one. And how do you do it? I think people like, that's why a lot of people hire a name consultant is because they don't know how to do it. And so if you were telling someone, you don't need to hire a name consultant, here's how you do it, what would you say?
I would say trial and error. I think it's one of those things, like even as name consultants, I'll have to say some names out loud to try to decide if they do sound well together. It's not like this perfect formula. I do think it's just the vibe that each name is giving off to make sure that they sound like they would be related. Not even necessarily like matchy, but like the same people named them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Is that kind of a concise way to say it? I feel like when naming my kids, had a couple names that I was like, those just don't flow together. And I had to say them out loud a couple times to be like, that's off.
Yeah. I also think like people worry that it has to be like so cohesive, like Charlotte and William. You know,
It just
obviously
has to be inoffensive.
everybody knows that Charlotte and William goes together. Yeah. But you don't have to be so limited. I think I think about it like a Venn diagram of styles. And certain styles, like if you had classic names in the middle, classic names can be paired with vintage names because vintage names are timeless. They're both what they have in common. So you could do like Charlotte and Nell. Like that works together.
Yeah.
I think classic names go with surnames like Charlotte and Brooks, Charlotte and, you know, Kennedy. Like those could work together. So you don't have to, it doesn't have to be boring.
No. There's
still so many names to choose from, but I think there is a way to do it where they sound good together. And it's like, yeah, I agree. Like they are going to be their own people.
Yes.
You don't have to do this. If there's a name you love,
you
don't
obviously have to
do it.
like their name alone. And I think that's what people say. They're like, I think it's more important you choose a name you like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you are supposed to be choosing a name you like. That's understood. Like you're supposed to like the names and they can fit into this mold. And then it's a question of like you're saying, do we have to care? You absolutely don't have to care. Like it's the same with popularity and like ranking of names. Some people are just into it.
Yeah.
If you don't care, you don't have to do
totally
anything
fine.
you don't want to do. This is just like for all intents and purposes, like what we do, like the real, like extremely thought out names, it does like matter to us, I would say.
And I think it's important to remember in naming a baby to never go on Reddit and to know that like the 1% of name nerds who are sitting on their computer, like contributing to a Reddit thread about names, that's not the approval you need.
Because the thing about the name nerds is we're freaks. Like we're not your target demographic.
My
like,
standard
stay away
shouldn't
from us.
be your standard.
Get away from us. You don't want to talk to us. You don't want to interact with us. We're crazy. We're not the standard population. And that's what I tell people too. Like this like tunnel
Yeah.
vision we have of names is not the norm.
Yeah.
So don't get too caught up in it. But I do think there is like beauty in like the name cohesion.
I agree. And it's fun. And
It's really fun.
I think like what has changed the landscape of naming is social media. And
Yeah.
while it has added some anxiety, I think, for parents, or like led to more anxiety, honestly, because there's more choice out there.
Yeah.
And there's a like good and bad side to that coin, because it truly does make naming more fun. Like, you don't have to stick to the top 20 names that you heard
Yeah.
out and about at the playground and at the airport. Like, that's not all you're choosing from
No.
anymore. Like, you get to look at all these lists and find a name that like fits your vibe.
Did you feel like a ton of extra pressure having George, because you weren't like doing content creation
Right.
and stuff with
Right.
like your first two?
It was for sure a simpler time with my first two kids. Like, I kind of like my son's name, Rory, we always had it kind of picked out. And like, I didn't want to be set on it because I wanted to talk about names for
Yeah.
10 months, like till the 11th hour.
Poor Deanna's like, we've literally
Yeah,
had this name
we've had
decided
this
for 9
great
months.
name.
Stop
Why are we
talking.
doing this? But yeah, so with George, I was like creating content at that point. And I don't think it changed like the decision we made, but I do think it put more names on the table for me. I
Yeah.
will say doing this has like exposed me to way more names, and in a positive way. Like,
Yeah.
it sort of makes me want to shake people, and because they'll be like, we have this name we love and we can't use. Like,
Mhm.
my best friend used it, my sister-in-law already used it, but it was our name. And I
Yeah.
want to shake them and be like, you can love a new name. Like, you have to keep an open mind.
Exactly. And the way I see it, it's like a puzzle and like fun.
Yeah.
You like this name, you can't use it. What else can fit into this specific spot? Like, it's like
Yeah.
a fun little challenge.
Yeah.
I felt like that with Pierce, of like almost like creating content challenged me to like really like think outside the box.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, no matter what, people aren't gonna like the name I pick. It like freed me, because I feel like when you're in this
Yeah.
like smaller arena of like, oh, my family doesn't like this baby name,
Right.
it feels so important.
Yeah.
But knowing like what we know of how negative people are about baby names
Yeah.
online,
Yeah.
it was like, so they're gonna hate it anyway.
Right.
So let me just do my big one. Like, it doesn't matter. It
Also,
literally
like,
doesn't
the
matter.
recipe, if you want everyone to like your name, literally go to the Social Security website and pick one from the top 15.
Yeah.
Those are popular for a reason. It's like, if you have too much anxiety about other people's
No.
thoughts, like, you pick Charlotte, you pick Amelia. Like, everybody's going to like that.
It's the perfect example too of no one's gonna like everything, because you're still gonna have some girl yapping, why did you pick that name? That's so boring. I'm so over Olivia. I'm over it. And like, it's fine, because there's
Right.
always gonna be someone that loves it, always gonna be someone that hates it. So free yourself.
If you followed us for a while, you'll know that me and Colleen love Wally cases. And obviously everyone on TikTok does too. They're gorgeous, they're aesthetic, and they're super functional. But above all else, we really support the company's founders. Nick and Jenna actually started a nonprofit organization to help give back and support families going through difficult times. Every month, Wally chooses a day to donate a portion of the day's sales to the Wally Gives Back Foundation, and they've already donated over $1.5 million so far. You can use code NAME911 at checkout, and thank you, Wally, for everything you do.
I post these name polls on Instagram. So like,
I
I
love
let
them.
people, type in their name dilemma, and then I'll post the poll. And I'll get some people who are like, I'm so glad that my favorite name polled the worst. Like, I actually don't want people to like my name because I don't want it to get popular.
Yeah.
And I totally relate to that. Like, with my daughter's name, I think her name's Jane and we call her Janie. And I think it
I love
gets
it.
it's everyone's middle name. And that's sort of why I like it, because we never meet a Janie.
No.
And like, I just have this positive association from like the Janies I've met in life that like gives me this strong affinity.
never a bad
I'm
Janie.
obsessed with the name.
Yeah.
But I know it's like too plain for a lot of people. And I'm like totally okay with that. And I almost like it because I know it's going to feel like special to us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like we need to give all like the sib set inspo
Okay.
to kind of like put into perspective
Okay.
like what we mean by this like sibling cohesion.
Yeah.
Because I do think everyone thinks like summer and winter. Like this is what we mean by like the cohesive
It's
names.
peanut butter and jelly.
Exactly.
Not peanut butter and almond butter. That's my
Exactly.
line. That's
Yeah.
my like teacher line.
No,
all right?
that's perfect.
You want them to be cohesive. The other thing I'll add is like style. In my opinion, there's some objectivity to it, but it also is subjective. You can think a name is classic and preppy, and I can think it's like the trendiest name on the block. The other more
We
objective
have very
way-
different like name opinions.
We do. We'll get into that at some point because people always want to know like what names do you hate,
We're gonna tell
and we
them.
never tell.
I do.
You do. I keep it like very above board.
Yeah.
The Parent Collective is a community dedicated to guiding new and expecting parents through every stage of pregnancy and early parenthood. Led by experienced nurses and midwives, the prenatal and postpartum classes offer way more than just evidence-based education on labor, recovery, and newborn care. They offer community and friendship. The Parent Collective was inspired by founder Jessica Hill's own experience of being pregnant in the UK. The support, community, and friendship she experienced there made her realize that American women deserve more. The Parent Collective offers in-person classes in select cities across the US and online worldwide. Use code Jessie10 for 10% off.
So, if you had to pick like your favorite sib set, like if I said, give me a perfect.
Like what I've heard lately.
Yes.
Okay. My mom is always reporting names to me.
Love.
Like she goes to New York City and babysits my nieces and she's out at like Central Park, like texting me sibling sets. Oh yes.
Love.
And you know, I give her like the yawn emoji if it's too boring or like fire if it's, yeah. So recently she was like, one of my niece's friends, Lila, had a little sister. So it's Lila, Celine, and August. And I was like, that is perfection. It's like, they're all soft, elegant.
Yeah.
They're on trend, you know, they're names that are on trend and very relevant, but they still feel timeless. And I just think like the softness really pulls them together.
And notice how they don't match.
But they're not matchy.
No.
It's not like
it's a totally different
Lila
thing.
and Leo. Like,
exactly.
Which is fine. It's just
Lila and Layla.
I mean, that's criminal. That's a federal offense.
I love this is a cheap out because this is my daughter's name, but Darcy and Stella. I think Darcy and Stella are just like
it's
I feel
giving
like,
Gatsby party.
Yes, I feel like they would take an art class together.
Yes.
Like I feel like their rooms would be colorful and they would be fun and you know, they would just I just can see that same like spunk to them.
I agree.
And I think it's like vintage-ish. But like it's like a modern vintage. Like
yeah, not like nursing home.
No, exactly. No. And it's like, but again, they don't even share any of the same sounds. Darcy and Stella.
They don't. So what other boy names would you add to that? Like if somebody had a Darcy and a Stella and they were like, where do we go with boy names? We feel like we kind of pull because they're super cohesive, but Stella is super popular and Darcy is very unique.
Yeah, that's the thing too. They're completely different ranking
which is fine.
So I think that's
it's
like
fine.
a fun pull. I know. What would you do for a boy name?
I think Simon.
I want to put Simon everywhere, so I'm always hesitant to say it.
I think we're both biased towards it. I think Conrad, like if we're thinking about like Gatsby names. Love Conrad.
Yeah.
I think like Otto could work. It's like creative.
I like Otto. I struggle with it because I hear like automotive. It's giving car. But I love it written down. I love when other people use it, but I think I struggle there.
Yeah.
I think like I would love like a last name addition to Darcy and Stella.
Brooks.
I do think Brooks would work.
Darcy, Stella, and Brooks. That's very sophisticated.
Wells.
I love Wells.
I know everyone's like, it's overused, but it's
I don't think it's overused.
It's not.
And it's so regional.
If we can use Liam every year and, you know, drive that one into the ground, we can keep using Wells.
Okay. What's another sibling set you've heard recently that you think works together?
I think.
Oh, you were telling me you were at the library and you met a Francesca and Maxine. And I was obsessed with that.
I am obsessed with names that also have like, I either want a name that can't be nicknamed or that can be nicknamed like with intention.
Right off the bat, like they're being introduced that way.
Francesca and Maxine, it's like there's so much energy to it and they can be Frankie and Max.
Love.
And sometimes I just want to go up to parents and just like shake their hand and be like, thank you so much for what you've done. Like, this is beautiful. It's gorgeous. I love Francesca and Maxine.
Yeah.
That's like one that if someone was having twins, I would beg and plead that they used. Because again, they don't match.
Yeah.
We're not looking for these matchy names. It's just names that you're like, ooh.
That somehow work.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, on the nickname topic, what do you think you can name your child Madeline without her becoming Maddie? What's your take on that?
I think if you raise her to be like so bold, confident, like a little bit, like you need her to have that like oomph to her that she'll be like
DGAF.
Yes, exactly. And I think like I have a friend that's Madison that's like, don't call me Maddie.
Yeah.
And like,
but you can't predict that. I feel like you would raise that girl and I would raise the girl that's like, call me what you want.
She's like, actually, you can call me anything. Pick a random name. I'll respond.
Call me Rebecca.
And that's the thing too, is you can't set those expectations on your kids. So that's why I would be hesitant of like, you don't want to force your kid into like a certain identity. Because what if they love Maddie?
Yeah.
Like you do. But if they don't, I would want them to feel confident enough to be like, call me Della.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but I would never risk giving a name that you don't like the nickname of. This is how I felt with Genevieve. Genevieve's one of my favorite names. I think everyone should be Genevieve. It's gorgeous.
It's very pretty.
I love it. Can you picture me with a Jen?
Okay, but here's my theory on Genevieve. I think the greater society, the people, they know that Genevieve and Jen are not serving the same energy. Whereas Madeline and Maddie, like Maddie has society stamp of approval.
Yeah.
Maddie's okay. I don't think people are gonna, I think you're gonna get the random like guy on the plane who's like, can I call you Jen? But I think in general, people know, like, you don't call Genevieve Jen.
I've learned not to have too much faith in the broader of society. I think if
You're
there's
losing
a way,
faith in society?
it's gone. You can't lose what is gone. I think that if there's a way to screw up a name that I love, the people will do it.
I'm not risking.
I expect the worst.
Yeah.
Notice neither of my kids can be nicknamed
You're
in
right.
a traditional sense.
You're right.
Have I nicknamed them obscure
Right.
things? Yeah. But
Becky. Yeah.
yeah, like Pierce and Darcy, there's
Like that is a sibling set. I'm just gonna slow clap for
thank
you.
you so much.
So
Thanks
good.
so much.
It's so good. So as another example, like I remember I had this client who had a Henry and
Mhm.
they loved it. They were so happy about it, but they were like, we do run into them. And like we do want to go like a little
Mhm.
less common for our next kid.
Sometimes
But
you don't realize you care.
right.
Yeah.
And like they don't regret the choice. They just like
Mhm.
are like, okay, we want to like do a slight pivot.
Mhm.
But her husband was like, he liked William. Like that was he liked William. He liked Charles. He
Mhm.
liked the more common names. So what we came up with were like surnames that have a root in sort of like a popular name. So Bennett.
Mhm.
It's like Benjamin,
Yeah,
but with like a
absolutely.
little fun twist.
Yeah,
and I
modern.
think like Bennett, Emmett, I think
Mhm.
those names. So they ended up going with Ellis. Henry and Ellis.
I love Ellis.
I love Ellis.
Love it.
Yeah. So I think there is a way like to make a pivot that still makes sense with like the first name you chose.
Yeah.
I just had a poll that was I posted about this, but Michael and Grace were their kids.
Mhm.
You can't like get more traditional.
No.
And they were having a third and it was a girl. And a few of their names were like Marigold Color Goldie, Margot, and Greer.
Mhm.
And a few people were like, those don't go with Michael. And I was like, they do though.
Yeah.
Like they're different. They're a little trendier, but in a way that's still a classic name. It's not
Yeah.
like they're going to like Michael, Grace, and like Blakesley or like Michael, Grace, and Cedar.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
the thing. And it's like people sometimes do. My best friend works on a ski mountain in
Okay.
Colorado.
Oh God.
And
She's got like,
my messages I have from her rosters of she runs the kids camp.
oh, that's a great
Imagine
source.
the kids camp
That's a great
in
source.
Steamboat Springs. That's like buku bucks, like crazy.
They must be named like Bear, Fox.
So here's the thing, little girl, hero.
I actually like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Her brother's name was like Derek or something. It was, or like Aiden.
Like the 2000 like
Yes.
post Sex in the City.
Yes, exactly.
name
It was
that
like something
everyone
like
chose.
that, like very much like
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
And she's texting me and she's like, you're not going to believe this one.
You're not
And
gonna like
that's what
this
we're
one.
trying to avoid with the sib sets. It's people being like, you did what? Like
Yeah.
people that aren't even like baby name freaks, just being
Right.
like, that's a bit odd. Like that's
Yeah.
that's strange.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it comes down to, is it just not being like, you don't want attention for that reason of like, oh, clearly mom named one and dad named the other. Like the vibe is just a little strange.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if you don't care, you don't care.
You don't. And like that's what I tell people. If your heart is like, I think my kids' names, they go together to me now because I know them.
Mhm.
And like I say them together all the time. And I used to be sort of like, they're going to be different people. Don't focus on it too much.
Yeah.
The amount of times you say your kids' names together, you better like how they sound together.
And that's what it is, because they're going to go off into the world and they're going to be their own
And they're gonna
person.
come back,
They're going to
hopefully.
introduce themselves as their own person.
Yeah.
But when you are all together, you're still saying those
You're
names
still-
right in a row. And if
I-
they make you go,
Thanksgiving, like,
it's no one's problem but your own.
yeah.
So,
So, yeah, I do feel like I pivoted a little from like Rory because
Mhm.
I'm not from New England and I didn't know that Irish names were like Dunkin' Donuts, like every block.
Oh.
So we were going to swim class, we were going to the park and like Irish names. That's all I heard.
Mhm.
He's
Rory
the-
and Maeve on every block.
Rory and Maeve. And guess what my girl name was? Maeve.
You were
And
meant to live here. That's all it means.
I was. There was a magnet pulling me
Mhm.
here, like-minded folks. So I pivoted. And I think it's okay to do. I
Yeah.
mean, probably because I did it. But I think like there's a point at which you can drive yourself crazy.
Yes.
But so don't be too hard on yourself and beat yourself up about past decisions you've made. All right, they're going to be fine.
Mhm.
But if you're naming a kid now, I think it's such a fun thing to think about is like finding that cohesive. It's like decorating a room. It's like being an interior designer, like finding things that work well together.
And my final note about it is more names go together than don't.
That's so true.
It's not, you're not trying to find a name that goes well with. You're just maybe taking a few off the list that sound a little crazy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is people often will come to me with a name. They're like, what's a name that sounds really good with Grace? I'm like, so all of them. Like that's really like a really easy starting point. Tell me the names you like.
You're good. Yeah.
Tell me the names you like. I bet 90%
all
of them
go.
Yeah.
Like I even think like Grace and Sienna could work. Sienna is like trendier.
Yeah.
It's a little more like Euro chic. It still works.
Yeah.
And that's my other rule of thumb. If you have a name in the like top, if you're looking at data, like top 100 to top 50, it likely 99% chance it goes with any other name in the top 100.
Yeah.
Because those names we've all heard. They've all become mainstream. We're used to hearing them with different names because you meet so many sibling sets with a Lucy or a Lily or an Audrey, Caroline. Like those are names you're familiar with and you're used to hearing paired with so many different things that they kind of all just work together. So that's my other rule of thumb is like most likely if you have a name in the top 100 and another name in the top 100, they work.
100%. I also think that we're getting into a tough spot because I think people are trying to go really out there with their names.
Yeah.
And I think you have your first child and you're like, this is a banger. Like, this is so good. And then you're like, oh no, because what goes with that? That was a little out there. And I'm not really sure how to like match that energy. And that's where we come in. And I think that like, that's where sometimes you need a little bit of help. Like a name that I love is Poet.
Okay.
It's very hard to choose a name that goes with Poet that isn't too matchy-matchy. And I think that's
1000%.
Like, and I had a consult the other day. Someone was like, "We want the same energy as Poet," and I'm like, "So it's a very specific energy." So we worked together to try to find like. I offered like Dove. Obviously, I love Dove. I think Poet and Dove are very
your
similar.
bias is showing.
Oh, 1000%. And there's someone like some celebrity has Poet and Prairie. And that's like she was like, I don't want another
P. That's a little much for me.
So that's the thing. I was like, we don't want to do like 2 Ps because I think it's such a strong word. So we were talking about Lark. We're talking about like, you know, these sort of like, you know, more abstract, but it's gets tricky when you go a little crazy with the first one.
I think I'm just thinking about that. Like, I feel like celebrities absolutely do their own thing and don't follow any of these rules. So if you need validation in your names that don't go together, you
look
just
at Trisha Paytas.
Just start looking at like, okay, Ashley Tisdale, I love, special place in my heart. Her girls are Emerson and Juniper. Like, she went over here. She took a turn. She took a sharp turn.
left.
And like probably now to all her friends and family, those names are the perfect match. Yeah. Because they know them together. Yeah. I would have never paired them together.
Trisha Paytas has Malibu Barbie and Elvis. Serve. do whatever you want and live your truth. Right. We have, you know, Whimsy Lou, Nara's baby.
We're gonna have to talk. Nara's pregnant.
Oh,
we need to talk about it.
I can't wait. But there's just so much that goes into it, and a lot of it.
You can find your people.
You can find your people. Yeah, absolutely. So we actually have someone that needs help.
Okay,
someone reached out.
Pull it up.
They have a baby coming on the way. And they love what they did for their first.
Okay.
And I think that's when sometimes people struggle is when they're like, I did my big one. Where do I go from here?
I also tell people like, try and let go of that pressure.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to go into it loving it as much.
No.
Like, names are hard. It's just going to have to grow on you and that's okay. Like try not to feel guilty about that.
So they have a Channing.
Okay.
And a Channing Elizabeth,
girl.
Which I think is amazing. Yes, she's a girl. And they're looking for a little sister.
Okay.
They do not want a CH name.
Okay.
But they want like the same energy.
Okay.
So right off the bat.
What is it? What energy is it giving for you?
It's giving preppy-ish.
Preppy-ish.
I don't say full-on preppy.
Yeah.
Because I do think it's a little like more unconventional than a traditional preppy.
I agree. It's not as clean.
It's not as clean. And I think that's where it brings me to Merritt.
Love.
I think Channing and Merritt are really strong. They don't sound too similar. They're not too like
but
I
like that.
I really like Merritt
I
for
think
them.
Channing feels cool girl. It also I feel like she's really good at sports.
Yes.
Like
she plays soccer. She does lacrosse.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
And that brings me to like a little more mainstream, but I think McKenna gives that same energy.
Okay.
Channing and McKenna. I also like Campbell. Honestly,
Campbell too.
If they had a boy or a girl. I think Channing and Campbell, like it has that same energy.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that
What
it's one
else?
of those things like I think Monroe is a little like it's gotten mainstream, which might make it more palatable for them
Yeah.
because it sounds to me like they don't like too out there. They want it to be fresh, but not too out there. And I think Monroe has entered mainstream.
You know what Channing is giving?
What?
Kylie Kelsey.
Yes.
Like, I'm thinking Bennett.
Yeah.
I'm also, I think, stuck a little bit on the double consonant in the middle. I always like lock into that, like Channing and Bennett. I also love nickname ability. So you know I love Benny for a girl. Like Bennett, call her Benny.
Oh, yeah. JC Marie Smith has a Benny.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And, Lauren Elena just did a Benny. B-E-N-I,
Oh, yes.
which was bold.
JC is so funny, though. I know she saw that and was like,
Yeah. Interesting.
yeah.
It's no secret that kids are messy. And when you factor in being type B hot mess moms like Colleen and I, things get even messier. Just like everyone else, our parenting MVP is the Miss Mouth's Messy Eater Stain Treater and all of their other fast, powerful, and kid-friendly formulas. They're designed for families, they're non-toxic, and they're tough on stains but super gentle on fabrics. Click the link below or use name 911 at checkout.
How do you feel about baby name stealing?
It's delicate. It's
Yeah.
delicate, man. I wouldn't do it, but I'm innocent.
I feel like there are certain names you can't steal. Like you can't steal Olivia.
But I think people, you can't steal Olivia. I feel like people get a little too in their head about the names that they feel are off limits.
yes.
Coworker's kid. No problem.
Your coworker sister
No problem
can
at
name
all.
her kid
You could
anything
leave
she
that job
wants.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people feel a little too nervous about it, stepping on toes. I just did like a video for, Lauren and Ari from The Bachelor.
I
Oh,
fear
you're
I was
not-
born in 2000, so I am disgusting and I watch Love Island.
Okay.
I'm not a Bachelor girl,
Like,
I'm a Love Island girl.
You're on like the Gen Z reality train, and I'm still on the millennial
Unfortunately.
reality train.
I want to get off this train, but I unfortunately can't.
So, all right, well, I'm going to talk about them anyway because I'm kind of obsessed, and they are pregnant. Ari just got his vasectomy reversed, and they're pregnant with number 4.
I don't like the way you looked at me when you said that. My husband just got a vasectomy.
They had twins, got a vasectomy, and now they're like, wait, let's do one more. Run it back. So, but I was like, they named their twins Senna and Lux, and I looked back at this YouTube of like how they picked those names, and they said one of their good friends named their son Lux. But like they didn't live near each other. It was just like that's where they heard the name. And it's such a unique name that like if you used it, it's like, hey, I know where you got that.
Kale from Teen Mom has a Lux. I wonder if
Oh, okay. So they asked permission from their friend. And I think that's the way to go. And their friend was like, sure. Like it's kind of flattering.
Yeah.
They're not in the same circles. What does it matter?
True.
You know?
Yeah.
I feel like you feel differently.
Like
Would you be mad if someone had a Darcy?
it depends. Like one of my friends, yeah.
Yeah.
Because what do you mean it's out of the top 1,000? I think it matters of like,
Yeah.
so when I was naming Darcy was not even on my list. She was not even in my stratosphere. And I went to tell my sister and her husband, I said, look, I think we've landed on Darcy.
Okay.
This was after they had previously had their naming privileges revoked because they were really mean about a name I liked and they lost privileges for a while.
Okay.
Finally, we reintroduced them. I said, I like Darcy. And she goes, oh my God, that's on my baby name list.
Your sister?
Yes. And I
Whoa.
said, do you want me to not use it?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't on mine.
Yeah.
I have no emotional ties to this name.
Yeah.
I pulled it from a consult I did. I was like, I want that for myself.
Okay, I'm going to keep that one.
Yeah, literally. And I was like, do you want me to take it off? And she goes, no. Derek, her husband, had a old lady coworker named Darcy, so no can use. And
Perfect.
I was like, okay, so fair game. She said fair game.
You handled it beautifully.
I feel like that's how you approach it.
Yeah.
Because
you
if
just
someone
have a conversation.
if someone has an emotional attachment to a name, like from the time they were 15, like this is my baby's name that I haven't met yet.
Yes.
I think there is a different level of responsibility. But like if you're just like, oh, I literally read this on a list. Some random girl on TikTok was yapping about this name and I really liked it. I think it's like a different level of tie to
It's
it.
one of those things where it's like there are so many names out there. You can find it.
So many.
You can find another.
There are so many.
Should we pull one more name 911 from?
I think so because the girlies really need help. It's really crazy. I have never seen this level of crisis. I think just because I can't check my DMs that often, I can't hear from people like at this level of consistency.
You posted that form last night and got like 800.
The form was up for 24 hours because it was on stories. We got hundreds.
Yeah.
So I love this one. My husband and I love the name Millie. It's the only name we agree upon, but my husband goes by Billy to family and Bill
Okay.
to like professional.
Okay. I have my thoughts immediately.
I want to hear it.
I think it's totally fine. First of all, he's dad in the house.
Yes.
Daddy if you're, younger.
Yeah.
Second of all, I just think like people get caught up in matching their own names with their siblings and how it goes. And you didn't choose your names. I don't think people are judging you on that.
No.
I think it's like a coincidence. I think it can be cute.
Yeah.
I wouldn't not use my favorite name because it rhymed with my husband's name.
No, I think it's one of those things like you're saying, it's dad and Millie.
Yeah.
And how often like throughout your lives are you going to be introducing like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, hi, I'm Millie and this is Billy. Like that's just not really something that's going to come
Yeah.
up often. It will every once in a while and it's going to be like, oh, haha. And then
Yeah.
everyone's going to move on.
Everyone's going to move on. And
It's
she's
not
just going to
that
be
serious.
Millie.
She's going to be Millie. She's going to go to college. Hi, my name's Millie.
Yeah.
What's your dad's name? Tell me your dad's name right now.
Plus, he's William. He's sometimes
Yeah.
Bill. He's
Yeah.
Billy. I had a client who wanted to use Gray. Husband's name was Greg. But this was like the name she always wanted to use.
Yeah.
It was a family name.
You know, she
You
met him
use
and was
it.
like, oh, you're going
She was
to
like,
ruin
"Damn
this
it."
for me. The amount of men that have ruined my
Right.
baby name list.
Yeah, I think it's a first date conversation, personally.
I did too, and apparently that was weird. Apparently that was inappropriate. I was in a
The red flags
Yeah.
were like flying.
I'm in Hawaii at Kona Brewing, and I'm like, okay, so my baby name list, and it's like literally looking for the exit. I'm like, no, talk to me right now. Like, please, this is very important.
Do you have a notes app going?
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, that was sent a few running, but cleared them out.
I think we need to wrap this episode up.
Yeah.
Let's say like next episode, we're going to dive into...
We're going to talk about the husbands.
Okay.
I think that we have a lot to cover. I think one of the hardest parts about naming a baby is having your partner agree.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things that I think people come to us like, how do I solve this problem?
Yeah.
We cannot reach a conclusion. And that's
Yeah.
where like baby name consultants come in.
Yeah.
We also have someone that's a bit of an expert on the subject of husbands.
I think the biggest three like themes I see in my emails and DMs is sibling cohesion. How do I get my part? How do we agree? How do we compromise? And then people who are stuck on popularity.
That's mine. I hear so many people
Yeah.
that just are desperate. Like, I love this name, but it's too common. Like, what's an alternative?
And I think it's a bigger conversation that we'll cover in
Yeah.
another episode because it's so personal.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a wrong answer. It's like you need to figure out what fits you and like your
Yeah.
criteria.
How much did you care about popularity?
I cared a lot.
Did you care progressively more as you like got further into this universe?
I think if I were naming a baby today, I would care more than I did when I was, because now it's like this is like being a teacher. You know how teachers are like, we can't use any names because like they've all been ruined.
Don't you know how I was named? My mom's a teacher. My mom's been a teacher literally since she got out of like school, like whatever.
Okay.
She was like, I can't fight it. I'll just pick my favorite kid. She picks her favorite student, Jessica.
And now you're one
Now
of.
I'm Jessica. Oh no, but then I go to school with her sister. So I'm at lunch with Mackenzie. Oh, my sister had your mom in class. Oh, who's your sister? Jessica.
And you're like, yeah,
I said, I'm named after your sister. And she was like, what? And then I think they literally were like, don't talk to the Podcat family. Like they're freaks.
It cracks me up. So many moms in the 80s and 90s picked a top 10 name thinking it was the most unique name they'd like. We just heard Jessica one day and we loved it.
Yeah.
And we didn't hear it. And then now there's 30,000 Jessicas
Yeah.
from 1990 alone.
Let it
Like,
die.
yeah.
Let us go. Let us go in peace. We've done our time. I'd be okay if I never met another.
Yeah. No, but like I love all my Jessies.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I did care. It is important to me, but I'm in this, that's what I tell people. Caveat, like this is what I
Yeah.
do. I'm hearing names all the time. Like I can't use a name I've heard
No.
10,000 times.
And that's the thing is it's like such a concentrated like number that we're hearing and people like tell me I'm wrong. And I'm like, no, so I speak to literally hundreds of parents a day.
Yeah.
Naming their like I converse with them in comments in DMs.
Yeah.
You don't know what I know. Like it is just a different level of saturation that you
Yeah.
could never understand. It's definitely a whole different beast for us. And I
Yeah.
always just say, look, I'm a freak.
Yeah.
Don't
I
worry
think
about what I think.
we
I'm
know
a
too
freak.
much. It's like
Yeah.
being in the healthcare field. It makes like getting a family diagnosis harder. Like you know too much. I think that's the same thing with namings. Like naming, like I love the name Charlotte.
For
I love the name
context,
Amelia.
Colleen was a nurse. That
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
just a random,
was-
like, equating baby names to nurses.
Before I became a TikToker, I was a nurse.
That sounded like a crazy, like wild, out of left field,
right,
out of
like,
touch.
what is she
They're
thinking
like,
about?
yeah, I bet you can relate to working in the healthcare field, you weirdo.
I will also say my sort of like criteria for boys and girls is different.
Oh, yeah.
Boys is harder. Go for a top 10 name. Just like James, go for it. Love it.
We're going to have to talk in another episode about our baby naming criteria.
And the names that we didn't use and the names that we would use if we had another.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Anything else to wrap it up?
No, I think that's it. I'm so excited to jump into this.
I'm so excited.
We have a lot coming.
So much to talk about.
So much.